Alrighty. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Got some 200 NL action going for you guys. Just playing two normal tables. It's kind of late. I'm just having a chill late night session. So we'll have a lot of time to talk about the spots. Starting here with a 3-bet from the small blind. There's a few players in this pool that I don't know. However, there are a few that I do know that I have marked, which is why I'm sitting at these tables. So obviously we flop a really good flop for our hand. It's a pretty good flop for our range as well. I think I'm going to play this board as a quarter bet with range. I'm not completely sure, but I think that this board, I think that he has enough ace-x in his range that we can't get away with betting our entire range for a third. But we can a fourth. I could be wrong on that. Obviously our hand is strong enough to bet for a third, but against an unknown player playing 200 NL, I'm going to try and replicate what I think is going to be somewhat close to theory. So facing a 3-bet here, we're going to call on an 83. This guy's got some pretty loose stats, so just keeping that in mind going to the flop. Obviously nothing we can do here. With our hand on this board, we just have an easy fold. Going to open a third table here, and let me rearrange this. Oh, what? There we go. I think 3 normal tables should be a good amount of action. Obviously, I want there to be things that I can talk about, but I don't want to be... It is pretty tough talking and playing at the same time because I'm thinking about a lot of things. With the big blind here, with 8 big blinds, if he jams, we're calling off. And I'm just folding my hand. Just gonna run and get a water bottle really quick. What did I miss, guys? There we go. Gotta stay hydrated. Very important. Gotta check your posture too when you're playing long sessions. Sometimes I catch myself 3 hours into a session and I'm like, my back is curved in a way that shouldn't be possible. One thing that's annoying about normal tables, obviously, is tables breaking. I don't mind playing some 3-handed poker, though. I do mind playing heads up. So king 8 off is going to be a mix between a 3-bet and a call. On a 27, we'll call. So obviously the small blind is going to have an advantage in ace-x. In the stronger ace-x region, like he has ace-king and ace-queen, ace-jack, that we're 3-betting a lot. However, we also have a lot of ace-x. I think on an 8, I'm just going to call my hand, but I think that my hand is going to be doing some raising at some frequency with the king of clubs. And now versus the 1/3, I really like turning my hand into a bluff. He can be doing this with like pairs in between. You know, he could be doing with a 6. He could be doing this with queens, jacks. I want to bet big, and I want to rep a flush. This is going to put all those kind of middling pairs in the blender. And now I expect him to have a lot of ace-x. Question is if I want to try and get someone to fold an ace. I think in this spot, I can credibly get someone to fold an ace. I definitely have lots of flushes in my range, and I'm going to go for it. King 10. I'm trying to remember if that's a pure open from middle position. King 10 off. In my charts it is. I know in some charts it isn't. Okay, let's see if we can find another table here. This one looks not bad. Yeah, let me go back to that. Oh, where am I going to put my replayer? This hand. I'm going to fold on table 1. And I'm going to 3-bet on table 2. Going to go slightly bigger with the cold collar. Ace Queen is going to be mixing between a 4-bet bluff and a fold versus the under the gun 3-bet. This hand was interesting. So we call him the small blind. He goes for a 3rd on this flop. I think that I would just play this board as a 1/4 with range. I'm assuming he's just playing 1/3 with range. I think a lot of regs are. Then on the turn, he bets a 3rd again. I think he probably wants 2 sizes. He's going to want a size for his flushes and full houses that he has. And then he's also going to want a size for some kind of, I guess even a strong ace would want to bet. I mean, probably in theory, you might even see like a 75% size for like ace-king, like a strong ace-x. He still has an advantage in the ace-x over our mostly weaker ace-x. And then probably an overbet size for his flushes and full houses, or maybe that would go into the normal size as well, the flushes. And then a block size kind of makes some sense too, because if you think about it, we still have like some 6x. We have some medium pocket pairs who may or may not now have just picked up a flush draw. And he still has hands like kings, queens, jacks that can bet small and get value from a hand like 7s or a 6 or an 8, or 8s rather. Although, so yeah, that's what I think that's what he's thinking in that spot, or at least that's what I'm thinking I would do with his range in that spot. And then in our shoes, after calling the flop, we still have some ace-x, but then we also pick up some flushes as well. And our flushes definitely want to be raising versus the small bet. I'm going to sit out on table 1 now. I don't want to play heads up. Yeah, we have flushes that want to raise. We pick up a full house of 5s that definitely wants to raise. If we were trapping 6s, you know, we might want to raise that or call again. Ace 5 too. But the point is we now have flushes that can get paid by his strong ace-x. A lot of poker, I think, is identifying where the range asymmetries are. But so like what are the differences in our range? And one big difference here is that he has all the strong ace-x where we have kind of the weaker ace-x. But and then on the turn, we both have flushes, but we pick up some flushes that are now beating his strong ace-x. It's always really important, I think, to think in terms of the some people call it like bucketing hands into like different groups of hand strength. So we have some weak ace-x. It's like an ecosystem, like in an ocean. We've got our puny little 6x and pocket twos that peeled the flop. That's getting eaten by his pocket jacks, pocket tens, pocket queens. That's betting for the small size. That's getting eaten by our weak ace-x. That's getting eaten by his strong ace-x. That now on the turn is getting eaten by our flushes. That's getting eaten by full houses that we both have. I guess at the top of the pyramid, the very top apex predator, complete nut advantages in his hands because obviously he has quad aces that we don't have. But that's kind of a good way, I think, of looking at poker. And then usually the bet sizes that you want to use are going to be dependent on those thresholds. I don't know if that rambling ocean analogy made any sense, but if it did, I'm glad. This is kind of close. I think on a 4, we'll still call. Actually, I think I'm probably pure calling even versus that size. All right, let me look for another table here. We'll just keep this open on the side. I'm going to start off with a small bet on table 1. I'm going to have to be doing some checking in theory here. My hand just likes betting. So he goes for the normal size. He's saying he's got like a strong 9 or better. I think my hand is probably mixing on the turn. And I'll give it up. On a 1, I'll check the 10. So when he checks back, he still has some 8x that called the flop. He has some 4x. He has some, 5s, 3s. I might have picked up some 2x. Still has some ace highs. I think we want to have a blocking bet and an overbet. And I think our 10 is strong enough to overbet. Probably mixing between both. I'm going to throw it into the overbet this time. Hoping to get heroed by like an 8x or, some random pair. Yeah, and he just had an 8. All right, we got a table here. I'm just c-betting range on this board versus a weaker opponent. And we're playing heads up here, so we'll play one hand of heads up and then sit out. He donks the turn on table 3. On an 82, I'm gonna bet my hand. I think I'm just using a 1/3 bet size on this board. I'm just gonna call and realize my equity. I really want to raise here. Saying he has like king queen or queen jack. Yeah, I think I just want to raise big. Okay, yeah, it's 7-9. Okay, and I'm timing it on table 1. So I'm just gonna make a note. Two pair. Weird. So I'll talk a little bit more about what was going on there, what made me want to raise. Here on a 96 flop, this was a limped pot. He checked back. I'm just gonna call. I don't really know what's going on here. And you got the 7 on the river. Yeah, let's go back to this spot. Folding here on table 2, or table, yeah, was table 3. Now that we only have 2 tables, I guess it's table 2. So we bet he calls. And he goes for this weird lead donk size. A lot of recreationals that I see do something like this. A lot of times this is just like a weak king or some weird kind of mergy value thing. I'm not super interested in trying to bluff him off that on the turn. And in the case that he is leading some kind of strong hands that might 3-bet me if I raise him, it's kind of annoying for my hand. Like, I just want to realize my equity. Versus this guy, same guy, I'm just going to go bet with my hand. I don't really care that I rolled an 8. I'm probably still checking pretty frequently, or still betting pretty frequently in theory here. And we get to fold. I'm putting him on like Queen Jack, maybe some like Jack 10, Jack 9. Weird kind of value mergy stuff when he does this. So I'm trying to hit my diamond. Now, obviously, a lot of his hands don't want to see an ace on the river. We have a blocker to king 10. So when he does this kind of weird bet again, it's not like he's credibly repping when he uses this size, any super strong hand. And I'm kind of just attacking him for that. It's not like my king blocker is really that relevant in the sense that I'm blocking king 10. You know, that might, or not king 10, sorry, king jack. That might be a hand that he would lead the turn with. But I don't think that's a hand that he would bet this size on the river. Yeah, the river size is just tripping me out because usually a recreational is just going to bet really big when they have a great hand. So we went for it. I think usually this line is going to end with a fold. This time we got owned with the 7-9 off. You know what happens. Let's find another table. I guess in the meantime, I'll make these ones bigger. Bring this over here. Just a fold there versus 4 big blinds. Even versus a normal open ace-9 off is just too weak versus under the gun. King 8 off is going to be the bottom of my offsuit King X that I'll open from the small blind. So I'm going to be opening wider here on the button with the weaker player in the big blind. I'll likely just be opening wider from any position where there's a weaker player in the big blind. All of your kind of indifferent mixing hands can just turn into a pure open. All right, Coyote 81. Like how I play versus most weaker players, I'm just starting off with a small bet with lots of hands. Again, this is because weaker players tend to play too many hands that are going to be forced to fold the flop just because they have way too much air on every texture. So now I'm just hoping to check down versus worse 7 or 3x or I was gonna say ace high. It's not a great river, and I think I just have an easy fold now. All right, we got another. Oh, never mind. All right, we got some more short stacked play. Easy fold. I think I'm calling any ace versus his all-in. Probably any pair for 10 big blinds. I don't know. Tournament players would probably know better than me there. Or definitely know better than me there. With the weaker player limping in the pot, I'm going to limp in the queen jack. I just want to be involved in pots with weaker players, even if that means playing a little bit too wide pre-flop. So 25 big blinds deep for the min raise. I think we probably are starting to call more of these offsuit king X and high cards than if we're 100 big blinds deep. I'm going to check again, expecting the weaker player to be limping a lot of ace X. And I don't really want to start bluffing into that. Now on the river, I don't mind a small bet. I expect him to be betting a lot of his ace X, and I don't think... Yeah, I'm more worried about getting called or raised by the big blind, but just going to call here. Yeah, obviously the downside of calling a hand like king 4 off when you're 100 big blinds deep is that when you hit a king and stacks go in, you're not happy. But if you hit a king when you're 20 big blinds deep, you're pretty willing to get it all in. I think I'm just going to fold here to this bet now. I'm not necessarily happy when the flush card comes, and it's not like I'm getting paid a lot when my flush card comes. Not much more to say there. Yeah, so I was going to play 2 tables of 200 zoom, like how I usually do with my 100 zoom videos. However, 500 zoom is completely dead, which means that all of the 500 zoom regs are going to be playing in the 200 zoom pool. And I just feel really bad taking all their money. They've worked so hard to get to where they are. I don't just want to go in and bankrupt them all. So I'm doing the honorable thing, and I'm just playing normal tables, to let them have their fun. But I think I will post some 200 zoom action whenever the pool is good. Just being pretty selective with when I play for the aforementioned reasons. Oh, guys, guess what? Check this out. This is the first time that I've ever I think this is like my first top 10, I think. I was third for $400, but fucking Kongi Kazi had to come in and bump me down. Still chipping away at my first black box. I'm gonna fold a6 off to the ISO here. I just assume anyone with a short stack is a weaker player. Maybe one day that'll backfire if anyone wants to come play some GTO 50 big blind poker, or 47 or 33.41 big blind poker. Just betting big with my hand versus a weaker player. I just am betting big when I have a strong hand. Not considering balance at all. For all you environmentalists out there, watching me drink out of my plastic water bottle, my Brita is broken. It needs to be replaced. Or the filter needs to be replaced, rather. I live in Montreal, and our tap water is filled with lead. We're living in the Stone Ages over here. It's pretty brutal. So this is temporary. Normally I'd be drinking out of a glass. Huge all in on table one. Oh my god. Are we going to see a three-way call? Oh my god. I'm rooting for king queen. I don't know about you guys. Give us the jack. Oh man. Oh man. What an upset. Let's see if Zavalhinya 1992 has anything to say about that. That's one thing I don't get to see often on Zoom that I really enjoy about normal tables. Sometimes you get the banter going on between two people. I was playing earlier and these two guys were just going at it. And then you can just watch as their anger rises and their play devolves into 90 VPIP, 4x pot, bottom pair jams. Alright, we got an unknown here. Let's play a pot. Let's play a GTO pot here versus our unknown 200 reg. Definitely need some checkbacks on this board. He has two pairs that we don't have. Although I think on a 57 with my suits, blocking backdoor ace-x and some 10x of clubs that might potentially raise or continue, my hand makes for a pretty decent bet. check back on a 5 on table 1. And now versus the check raise, this is the weakest ace that I open, aside from ace 9 at a low frequency. I think I can just make an easy fold. I think with the ace of clubs, I'm probably continuing at some frequency. And now do I want to start bluffing my hand? I think I do. I think versus check, I think I'm going to bet over bet. I just think it's going to be hard for him to play against that. I don't think people are really protecting their check range enough. Kind of a spot where I'm not really even thinking about blockers or GTO or anything. I'm just playing against a weaker player, and I'm asking, what is he telling me he has when he checks? When he checks this board, he's saying, I have pocket 2s or pocket 3s that just wants to get to the river, or I have like ace king or ace queen or something, or like a 7. Oh, and this table just died. So, if a weaker player who generally is just playing their hand is telling you that they have a hand that's going to fold to a bet, and you have 5 high, do with that information what you will. Let's see if we can get another table here. Yeah. We got some more short stack stuff. Only one short stack, though. I'll open 5-4 on table 3. Probably the last thing my hand wanted to see. Fold, I think, on an 100. Maybe that's a continue. I'm just gonna check the news real quick, guys. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Come to think of it, I think I should have called that Jack 3 suited, actually. Definitely on an 100. I could have probably even rolled like a 75 and called it. That probably would have been the bottom. Oh, diamond. Oh my god. Brutal cooler is happening in this area of the screen. I should warn anyone who joins this table. Opening ace queen under the gun here. On a 43, I'm folding Jack 10. We open it from middle position, just at a lower frequency. Definitely 3 normal tables feels like less action than 2 zoom tables. I would do 4. I guess I could do 4 actually. Let's do that. I'll do 4 normal tables, and I'll, if I can find one, and I'll shift all these over. On a 7, I'm folding 6s from middle position. It's not a pure open. All right, let's find a table. I can just find a 100 table too. All right, 3-betting ace king suited here. So he has 6s and 5s, where we don't. We block ace queen and king queen suited. I think on a 21, my hand's going to. I think we need some checking. Although I think my hand is mostly betting. I think on a 21 I will check it. Although I think I'm betting this hand a lot more than I'm checking it. I like my hand as a check raise. I think it's mixing between a check call and a check raise. I went too small. This was a mistake. And now I kind of just want to give up. I like this as a check raise because we're blocking ace queen and king queen. I think without a diamond, I'm probably never check raising this hand, actually. And now I'm just folding. I think that was probably a mistake. I'm going to check that one. To the pot size bet here, without a diamond, I'm going to fold. Okay, well, all the normal tables in 100, or all the 100 NL normal tables are full too. That's okay. Let's think about this ace-king hand. Okay. So we 3-bet. We've got kings, aces, we've got queens, we've got ace-queen, we've got ace-queen off at some frequency. I think in the cutoff, we're still calling it mostly. He should be 4-betting his ace-queen off, so he doesn't have a queen X advantage. We have king-queen off at some frequency as well, where he doesn't have king-queen offsuit. So as far as blockers go, blocking his strong hands, blocking king-queen suited and ace-queen suited makes our hand a pretty good bluffing candidate. That being said, he has 5s and 6s. We both have 5-6. I think I have it slightly more than he does. But him having 5s and 6s is a pretty big deal, I think. Enough of a deal that we need to have a significant checking range. And I think my hand is going to go into the checking range at some frequency. I think with a diamond, I think I'm betting my hand more often, just with the added equity in our backdoor flush draw. However, I think my hand is still a pretty frequent bet. I rolled like a 31, I think. And I was wondering if even that is too low to be, or sorry, too high to be checking. too low to be checking, too high? I wonder if I should even be checking that on a 31 or if I should still be betting it. It's getting late, guys. All these poker's tough. But we check. Now, our checking range is going to be made up of hands like jacks, tens, nines, some queens to protect it, and apparently some ace-king offsuit. So come to think of it, I don't actually think we're playing a lot of check raises, given that that's our range. I'm used to check raising as kind of like a standard way of thinking. On an 11, I'm going to check my hand on table 1. At 200, no, I'm not going to go for any crazy range bets on these small blind versus big blind boards. I'm going to need to have some give-ups. Or not give-ups, rather. Sorry. Some checks. And I'm just going to try and check to showdown here with my 4. This isn't a spot where we have a lot of checks. We have some because of the 5s and 6s. But our checking range is weak, is what I'm trying to say. It's not like on a board, like a low board, where we check like 80% of our range and then respond with a lot of check raising because we have all our overpairs in there. I think that this is a board where our checking range is not going to be responding as a lot of overpair check raises, and it's going to be responding a lot as a call. It's like jacks and tens and some ace king just trying to get to showdown with, some strong hands in there like queens to protect it. So this goes check down and he bets. I'd say he could probably bet a 9 as the bottom of his range. I don't think we're blocking any bluffs. 3-5. I kind of like check raising my hand, actually. I'm just gonna call though, because I think my check raise should maybe. Oh no, I lost the spot. That's okay. I think my check raise should maybe be getting. Oh man, this is the end of the video after this one. I'm getting tired. My check raise might need to be getting some weak ace-x to fold or mix at some frequency, which some of his value bets on the river are going to be comprised of some weak ace-x. Obviously, blocking the nuts is nice, and blocking some 4-3 that he might have rivered is nice as well. We block a6. I think my hand is probably mixing between a call and a check raise on the river. I'm gonna go for another 2 minutes, guys. Either that or I'll fall asleep. Oh yeah, but on that other spot, our checking range is like weak hands that shouldn't be check raising a lot. So I think if Villain was thinking about the spot, it doesn't really make sense for me to have a lot of check raises, because like I don't really have ace queen or king queen or kings or aces that are going to be check raising that spot, because they're just betting the flop. I should be responding with a lot of check calling, which I think my hand probably fell into that category of check calling. All right, I'm going to sit out next big blind on these tables. And get ready for some sleep. On a 54, I'm still folding 7s. So if I could go back and play this hand, on a 31, I think I'm still betting. But if I do check and he bets a third on the flop, I'm just playing it as a call. I think my hand is still too strong to fold. I also think that people in general are overstabbing when check two in a 3-bet pot, which obviously means that my hand is stronger than it should be in GTO against his range. His range that might be wider than it should be. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this laid back, not a lot of action video. I think it was the right amount of action that I could keep up with. Just a nice, chill, late night session. I'll try and get some 200 Zoom content for you guys whenever the pool's looking good. So keep an eye out for that. As always, if you had any questions about any spots, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to tell me how badly I misplayed a spot, let me know. Just let me know what you think I missed or what I was thinking about in the wrong way. And I'll do my best to respond to everyone's comments. So I'll get to yours, and yeah, we can have a nice civil poker discussion. All right, guys. I'm gonna call the video here. Take it easy, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.